Hi, my name is Adam and I'm here to talk about the passive voice. What is the passive voice? When do we use it? How do you make sentences in the passive voice? Look at this picture. Obviously there was a bicycle here, but where is the bicycle now? The light is on, as you can see, but who left the light on? These cars were parked at a no parking zone, but who parked them there? This man received a fine. Who gave him a fine? Obviously, you don't know the answers to all of those questions. That's when the passive voice comes into place. No one knows who stole the bicycle, so we should say the bicycle was stolen. No one knows who left the light on. That's when we say the light was left on. No one knows who parked at the no parking zone. Then say the cars were parked at a no parking zone. Obviously, it was the police who gave him a fine. He was fined for stopping at an electricity station to take pictures of the road. Look at the two newspapers from 1963 reporting the assassination of JFK. The first author mentioned that an assassin killed JFK. The second preferred to give emphasis to JFK himself. That allowed him enough space in the same line to speak about the swearing in of Lyndon Johnson. In the first newspaper, in the active voice, we know that an assassin killed JFK. In the second newspaper, that's the assassin is unimportant. When do we use the passive voice? We use it when the doer of the activity is unknown. For example, the bicycle was stolen. We don't know who stole the bicycle. When the doer of the activity is not important or less important or generally known. For example, JFK was killed last night. The assassin killed JFK, of course, but he's not as important as JFK. Compare those sentences. Someone killed JFK last night, and JFK was killed last night. We use the passive voice because we don't know who killed JFK last night, or that person is not as important as JFK. Second sentence. The police fined Jack Silverman. We know the police fine people. Then Jack Silverman was fined is a better sentence. Some people park their cars at a no parking zone, but we don't know who those people are. So cars were parked at a no parking zone is probably more appropriate. Someone left the light on. The light was left on. We don't know who left the light on. The object of the active voice became the subject of the passive voice. We call it the passive subject. The main verb is used in the past participle form, and verb to be is always present, determining the tense of the passive sentence. The doer of the activity was not mentioned in the passive voice because he or she is unknown, not important, or generally known. Sometimes the doer is very important and needs to be mentioned. The Raven was written by Edgar Allan Poe. Notice that there is mention of the doer, in this case the writer Edgar Allan Poe. Also notice the use of by to introduce the doer. It is also important to mention the writers and composers of music and also actors that play a certain role in a certain movie or directors. The Messiah was composed by Handel. Gone with the Wind was written by Margaret Mitchell. The Melting Clock was painted by Salvador Dali. The book was illustrated by John Burnington. It is very simple to change sentences into the passive voice. Look at the examples below. In the following examples in the active voice, red is the main verb and green represents the active object. Notice the change when the same sentence is said in the passive voice. In the active voice, she cleans this desk every day. The act of cleaning the desk for me is more important. Then I say this desk is cleaned every day. The doer of the activity is less important than the activity. Bill Murphy wrote this poem. I decide that the author of the poem is just as important as the poem itself. Then the poem is written by Bill Murphy. In the restaurant, actually in that restaurant, somebody will park your car for free. In that restaurant, your car will be parked for free. Someone has served dinner. Dinner has been served. Notice that verb to be is determining the tense that I'm speaking in. And the principal verb, or the main verb, is always in the past participle. Now it is your turn to change sentences into the passive voice. A suggestion is to print this slide and write your answers. Then check your answers on the next slide. Good luck. So, how many did you get right? I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the email below.